And while we're on self-sufficiency in this country, let's talk about energy. I'm joined now by Matt Canavan, of course, the National Senator for Queensland. Good to talk to you, Matt, former Resources Minister. Look, you've been talking a lot about what's been transpiring when it comes to the coal-fired generators and this plan from Mike Cannon-Brookes and others to basically buy them to shut them down even faster than their currently accelerated shutdown proposals. Are we reaching... Now, of course, these people want to buy in and make a lot of money out of renewables, and they'll make money out of renewables no matter what, but they don't have to worry about the security of energy supplies. That's not their problem. That's the government's problem. Is it time for governments to step in, perhaps, and ensure that some baseload power generation remains in place in this country?
Well, you've hinted at the strategy there, Chris, that these big investors, and Brookfield are fairly, strong-willed business people. They're buying this to make more money. Let's get that straight. They're not doing it out of a sense of charity. And the way they're going to make more money is if there's a shortage of electricity, the price will go up, and so will their profits. So yeah, they don't care if we don't have enough power to keep the lights on, or manufacturing businesses go out the back door in Australia, because if the price of power goes up, it'll be happy days for them, and they will make more money. And to answer your question, yes, absolutely. I've been saying for years we need to build a coal-fired power station. We should have done that yesterday, but as the old Chinese saying goes, the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The next best time is today. And so we should just get on and do this. We clearly have a shortage of power at times when the sun is not shining or the wind is not blowing. Just a few weeks ago here in Queensland, we had brownouts in southeast Queensland, people without power because it was a bit of a heat. Well, it was hot. It was sort of mid-30s. It wasn't particularly hot by Queensland standards, but we just don't have enough power. And we can't build nuclear tomorrow. Gas prices are through the roof, partly thanks to Putin. And so coal is really, it's an easy option, something we could build very quickly. Let's get on with it.
Well, wouldn't a starting point be looking to extend the lives of the current coal-fired generators? I mean, there was the talk of a government intervention when Liddell was being closed down. Maybe that's what's needed when it comes to Eraring and others.
Yeah, well, look, that's an option. I suppose it's sort of like the grandfather's axe. If you were to extend the life of some of these power stations, they would require significant investment. Some of them are quite old, like Liddell would effectively require a new blade, a new handle, and suddenly you've got a whole new axe, but you could still call it your granddad. So, I think there's not as much a distinction in that as might be thought. I mean, a few years ago, when Scott Morrison first came to power, we did propose that we would underwrite investments in baseload power. 12 options were put on the table then, and that none of those 12 have been gone to completion, unfortunately. Some proponents have blamed the New South Wales government, who continues to intervene in the energy market and subsidise renewable energy. We've got too much intermittent energy. And so we do need to look at other options here, I think, to deliver that promise we made before the last election as the Liberal National Party to invest in and supply this country with baseload power. That's what we need to bring that manufacturing industries, those industries back to Australia. It's clearly what we need given what's happening in Europe and the implications of that for our region. We cannot put ourselves in the position that Germany's in, where they're dependent for their energy security on other nations. That's exactly the wrong way to go.
Well, let's just clarify here for a point, because there's a very clear example here of how the renewable energy fetishists, the climate alarmists, if you like, they get an easy run in the media, but they're constantly being proven wrong. And people like yourself, and I make similar arguments, proven right. And you only have to go back to last year when the government proposed this gas generator at Kurri Kurri. Now, the New South Wales Treasurer, Matt Keane, says, well, he won't knock it back, but it's not required. They don't need it for energy security. Labor mocked it and said it wasn't needed, that there's plenty of energy around. There's not one person now who will tell you that New South Wales, in fact, the whole national electricity grid, doesn't need that gas generator at Kurri Kurri. Will be, thank God that decision was made. We're going to need more gas generation, surely.
Yeah, that is a positive that we are building that. I just note, though, that power station is not designed to run 24 hours a day either, and we haven't built a power station that is intended to run all the time for more than 10 years anywhere in the country. Kurri Kurri, in its design and its approvals, is only
it's a peaking plant,
5% of the time. It might need to do more than that given the situation. And the other issue we've got with gas right now, I've got nothing against gas, but gas prices are through the roof. And so you're not going to be able to generate affordable electricity relying on gas in the current market. And what we need is energy that is competitive, because if we do not have cheap energy in this country, we won't bring manufacturing back because we've got dear wages. And I don't want to see our wages go down. We're a high wage country, but our competitive advantage should be in affordable and reliable energy. That's why we've got things like aluminium smelting.
Exactly.
But we'll lose those if we don't continue to provide that.
How easily people want to forget that so much of our economic prosperity was built on that cheap energy that we seem to have volunteered, that we've just surrendered. Thanks for joining us, Matt. Appreciate your time. Matt Canavan there, the former Resources Minister, Liberal National Senator for Queensland.